Alright, so you're wanting to build a mage. Well, pretty much all you need to know about the mage build is you want to look for stun in your gear set, okay? What I recommend you do is you basically want to focus on two stats, skill crit and stun, if you're going the profit route. If you're going Dark Lord, it's a little different, because you're going to inherently already acquire a lot of skill crit. So your focus can either dabble in 2 or 3 different places. It just varies depending on what you want to aim to achieve. Okay, the one thing that I can tell you that is significantly different between like a Prophet and a Dark Lord, for example, okay, is when you click on the skills and you go over to your class, okay? Right now I'm running a Plume Monarch, which is a nice build, don't get me wrong, but the way that they play is completely different. When you look at like a Dark Lord, for example, all they get an advantage is basically they can stun and increase stun duration, and then they're also getting a boost to skill crit. Most of their bonuses are in skill crit damage and getting active skill damage increases. I mean, that's ultimately what they're aiming to achieve. Now, if you compare that to a Prophet really, the only thing that's different about a Prophet and a Dark Lord is that his skill is going to pop shields. Okay? For some people, that might be valuable. You're also going to get a prolonged active skill. You're going to get stuns that trigger down your active skills, cooldown faster, and then you're going to have a faster skill energy regen. And so overall, the skill crit and the bonuses there, it basically focuses more so on the active skill. So Hydra Spread's super helpful on a Prophet. Okay, but the main gist behind what is different between like a Plume Monarch and what you'll find in something like a build like a Mage, for example, all a Mage is going to go after is Crimson Moonfall and Star Array. The main reasoning behind this is because with a Star Array, you're going to get skill crit rate, which obviously when you already have bonuses that are increasing your skill crit rate, you're going to do a ton of damage, okay? And then the benefit of Crimson Moonfall is that your successive casts are going to increase the amount of damage you're already doing, and if you already got a lot of skill crit and skill damage as it is, then you're frankly on a good roll as it is anyway. And so that's part of the reason why when you see different types of builds, a lot of them are all going to leverage Disarm, Shroom Shield, and probably Clone Strike, regardless of what build it is, whether it's Dark Lord or whether it's, going down the Prophet route. But the only thing you'll probably see that is a little different on the PALs is that they're, rather than focus on like combo, for example, which you'll see in an Archer build, what you're ultimately aiming for is anything that is going to increase the amount of skill damage you're doing, anything that helps you live longer like the deer. You're going to see a lot more towards, things that increase stun damage, and then you're going to have a lot more focus on trying to survive and live. And beyond that, that's really about all you'll see with the PALs. As far as the actual, what I call the relics, I mean, really you're going to go more towards, getting skill crit rate. You'll have a little bit of focus, probably more towards on the time statue rather than the stellar statue. But, all these little tweaks are ultimately not going to change a whole lot. Like maybe instead of Storm Necklace, you might be running, you might go down like the Crimson Sickle route if you want to go with the Gale of Gust Wind, ability. It just depends on what you're aiming to achieve. I will point out, though, that almost everything or anything in the Mage hierarchy is ultimately focusing on getting a lot of skill damage and a lot of skill crit damage. And those are the only two things that ultimately matter as far as mages are concerned. I would say if you want to know more as far as building that out, I would say really about the only thing that I would strive for in your backs, like especially in your talent tree. Okay, you can go out and rank any one set of these, all three at a time if you'd like. I personally would recommend going down the right and get the Endless Outburst if you're going to play a Prophet. And then if you're going to go, say, like a Dark Lord, I think that the Temporal Compression is going to work out better because of what you're going to get in skill damage with the crit. But all the same, it's just whatever your angle is going to be. Obviously, any of your, anything that's going to be increasing active skill damage is going to be helpful in the case of Prophet. So skill damage and Moonlit Wisp any of the mages are going to jump all over Moonlit Wisp. Emerald Embrace is obviously more for your archer classes like Sacred Hunter or the Plume Monarch, and the Blade Pursuit's more towards your Warbringer and your Sage type classes. But with anything that you do decide to upgrade and modify, it's just ultimately that is kind of the direction that those classes go in. So hopefully that was helpful for you as far as building a mage, and I'll see you guys next time.